flat earther? Yes, I would, Bob. Yes, I would.
We're on the air right now, by the way.
Are we?
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, crap. Sorry, the thing was covered.
What thing? That thing?
The live yellow box on the right-hand side. I didn't see that.
Well, hello. This is episode 148, and it's our St. Patrick's Day episode, even if St. Patrick's Day is a couple days away.
Yep.
We're wearing the green today.
Yep.
And it's The Secret Show, Mark Sargent and myself. This week, we're going to be discussing, as always, the latest Flat Earth news and reading your emails and delving into the live show chat. So many things are going on still. It's unbelievable. Kyrie Irving, back in the news. The director of Moonlight, a guy named Barry Jenkins, mentioned Flat Earth after he won Best Picture at the recent Academy Award show. Yep. And a couple people saw it, but it took Flat Earther Ian Leahy to dig it up, find it, and then get it over to Mark, and it's sort of spreading right now. Al Gore mentioned Flat Earth again. Daniel Tosh on Comedy Central made fun of Flat Earth. Wrestler AJ Styles mentioned Flat Earth once more. Bill Burr mentioned it on a podcast. And I just saw this in live chat. DITRH says that Stan Deyo is on the third hour of today's Hagman and Hagman show, slamming Flat Earth. And closer to home, Eric Dubé is going to be doing a live podcast with Eddie Bravo Sunday at 10 p.m. Pacific time.
I know. And you think you caught it all, right?
There's more?
And you still missed one.
What?
The AJ Styles interview.
Oh, no, I thought I did say that. He mentioned Flat Earth.
Oh, did you actually say that?
I think so. The wrestler?
Well, anyway.
Maybe I did.
A lot of stuff.
Yes.
It comes in waves because last night, none of this happened yet. Yesterday, this time, just before I went to bed, I was looking and I saw that a few of the news things that the Kyrie was back in it. Do we want to start up with this?
Yeah, sure,
okay.
Sure.
So I'd seen in some of the early news feeds that Kyrie had done another interview. And then it turns out it was a whole nother podcast from, what was it? Road Tripping. That's the name of the podcast by Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson and his co-host, who was much more subdued this time. So it was his fellow teammate and that blonde lady.
Mm-hmm. We got to get her name because we always call her the blonde lady.
I know. It's in the podcast.
Right.
So he goes on, and sure enough, they ask him his response to the whole thing. It's like, did you think it was be a media firestorm? Blah blah blah, and he didn't backtrack from it at all, which is why I titled it Kyrie Irving follow-up interview does not backtrack from Flat Earth.
I liked how he went on further in the interview and was starting to talk about other things that he's into, because we know as Flat Earthers, we're not just Flat Earthers. We have been exploring all aspects of our life and about potential afterlife and what happened before we came here. I mean, everything, nutrition, health, blah, blah, blah. He was talking about basically what comes down to lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was neat stuff. And again, and none of these are related, but then all of a sudden AJ Styles, and I'll read his thing. He was interviewed by somebody recently, and I'll read his thing. And then Ian from England, he found it. And I remember him telling me about this early on. It's like, dude, I could swear I saw it, that Barry Jenkins mentions Flat Earth in an interview right after he won Best Picture. He was the director for Moonlight. It's going, okay. If you can find it, great. He sends it to me, I think last night or early this morning, because we're different time zones. And sure enough, I put it together real quick and threw it up there. And then as I was doing that, then I noticed that ODD had put up a thing where we really got to get into this one. The Daniel Tosh thing there's layers to this, because Daniel Tosh, first thing, I'm a fan of Daniel Tosh. I have been for some time. I think his comedy style is amazing. I've watched 2 or 3 of his stand-up routines. Love the Tosh .0, where he just rips apart he lives on YouTube. He's had to have seen this for a while now.
I don't know if somebody else tipped him off to Tiger Dan in that rap that he did, or he found that himself. Usually they have other people.
That's such an obscure. Okay.
Oh, for those who don't know what we're talking about, in the description box of this video, you will find that video from ODD in which the Tiger Dan video with his rap that he did about there ain't no curvature was, well, we remember that if we're old timer flat earthers,
back in the old days, all of 18 months ago.
Exactly. But if you can brush up by going there, but ODD put it together really well. And that's in a couple videos pertaining to what we're talking about are linked in the description box. But
exactly. Yeah. I mirrored it and I called it because ODD kind of linked it. He was humble and he didn't want to put himself in the video title. And I didn't want to put everybody in there, which is really relevant because there were three different video creators here mentioned. And this segment did not have to be that long by Tosh. It was pushing 4 minutes, and that's long for a Tosh show.
And he made a bunch of vague gay references about coming out of the closet and about something about breadcrumbs and I've had you people fooled, or
he knows full well, but he cannot come out. No celebrity, I don't care, Harry, with the exception of Kyrie, which is what makes him different, and B.O.B., no mainstream celebrity, or I should say it's highly unlikely that they're going to come out for it. They're going to do it sideways. They're going to go, oh, flat earth, it's a piece of crap, or they're going to come at it softly. Daniel could have done this. Is it okay if I call him Daniel, you think?
I think Danny, he likes Danny.
Really? I'm a fan. I would love if he would interview. I didn't know I didn't know he was still doing the show. I've watched a lot of his back episodes. I would love to be on that show because I think is hilarious and his wit is very, very sharp. Anyway, he leads with Tiger. The references were incredible because he leads with Tiger Dan. Nobody leads with Tiger Dan.
No, not anymore. That was one of his finest moments before he poofed off the face.
Was that the first? I didn't know. Was that the first Flat Earth rap or the second one? Do you remember?
I think there were others before that.
No. I mean for him because he did two of them. Remember, he
might have been his first. Oh.
Was that his first? Somebody in chat figure out, is that the first Tiger Dan rap or is that the second Tiger Dan rap that he did? Either way, he played it quite a ways of it. I mean, you didn't have to use that much of it. Follows that up with an ODD thing, which was weird because I didn't know that ODD used a British guy's voice in the plane curvature video part.
I didn't know who that guy's voice was in the plane curvature part.
I thought that ODD did all his own narration for that stuff.
Maybe that wasn't from an ODD video. Maybe that was another. This is what I thought. That was another content provider's video put in there.
Oh, and then I was just looking at ODD in the corner because it was watermarked.
But maybe. I don't recognize that voice. Anybody?
I didn't either. Who knows? Yeah. But then he follows up with, and again, this was very telling of Daniel because everybody remembers when Daniel was picking apart the space program a while back, where he goes, "Fine, you put a selfie stick on a Roomba and put it in the desert and tell me it's Mars," because you could tell he was not buying it. Now, does he officially not buy the space program? He's not going to, he's an American. He's not going to really go on and say that. But it was amazing. Great video because it looks from the surface that he's trolling the flat earth really heavily. But look, if you wanted to troll the flat earth, you could have done it 12 different ways worse than that. Kind of reminded me of the Neil deGrasse Tyson. I know I'm saying his name instead of NDT. It reminds me of that when he came on Comedy Central. Same network, by the way. Comedy Central. Where Daniel Tosh and the show that NDT was on, both the same network. But anyway, great. I'm so glad he addressed it and addressed it for as long as he did. And at the very least, again, there's publicity for you. It'll be spread around. And
he actually sort of sung/talked the "Ain't No Curvature" song.
Oh, that was brilliant. I mean, here's the sad. Okay, there's sad and there's silver lining about this. The sad part is Daniel Tosh is actually doing got no curvature. And Daniel, not only has he probably not watched this thing, but I wonder does he even know what's happening? Is he even alive to see it? We don't know. There's a little irony in there in that the first video he chose was a guy that literally has not made a flat earth video in a year.
That's the part I thought was weird. It's somebody who's not 100% clued into flat earth who got those clips and put it together for Daniel to do.
Yeah. Daniel probably didn't do his own research, but he probably thought, well, heck, out of all the music videos, this rap, it was. I mean, if you're going to pick
embarrassing. That's the thing. You could have used an ODD rap. There's nothing embarrassing. It's good. There's other people who've done music too, which is good. But they wanted to use something that kind of made Flat Earth look funny and pathetic. And so they picked that Tiger Dan cut. Although it wasn't funny and pathetic. It was tongue in cheek because Tiger Dan knew he wasn't any good. He was just really kind of doing it for kicks and, you know, that sort of thing.
Exactly. And again, he wanted to really make Flat Earth look bad. Look, you could pick and choose all sorts of fun videos out there.
You could just show this show right there.
There you go. Yeah. Do our Halloween episode, you know, and just start flashing, you know, in fact, you could take
these people always look.
You could take some compilations of people that have trolled us and turn it into the worst Flat Earth representation of all time.
Right.
Pretty easily.
Every single video maker, well, not every, but many video makers have moments during their shows that if somebody took that piece out and said, this is what a flat earther looks like, this is what a flat earther says, this is what a flat earther does, would be bad for flat earth. So there's not one channel that's the king of what's bad for flat earth. Yep. Nothing's bad for flat earth. We're humans. No. We do human things. Sometimes we laugh. Sometimes we cry. Sometimes we get angry. Sometimes we make false accusations.
Sure.
Sometimes we, wear costumes for Halloween. It's
sometimes we don't get the facts completely straight.
That's another one. That's another one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it happens. Life. Anyway, so again, and then that happened. You know, I was literally making videos all the way up within an hour of doing this show. Just doing them as fast as I could. And then ODD.
I was trying to get ready and I was putting my contact. I'm only wearing one contact now for the close reading. Tonight, I'm going after this show out to have wine with a bunch of friends. And my eye doctor is going to be there. And he's bringing my contacts. It was supposed to happen last time, but this time, new contacts so I can see better up close. Wearing only one now. I was putting in my one contact. I was kind of listening to videos. I had my phone in the bathroom while I'm like, we were trying to put them. I'm really bad at the contact thing. Anyway, then I saw, because I subscribe to your channel and I've hit the little bell, I get notified whenever you put out a new video. Yeah. And I was like, no, because you put 2 videos out during the time this afternoon when I was getting ready, just before the show, 2 new videos. And I'm like, oh, that means I've got to go to Twitter. I've got to tweet the videos because that's what I do. Yeah. So thanks.
I've done 5 videos in the last 24 hours.
I know, exactly.
And yeah, one of them was A Strange World from last night, and then the Barry Jenkins Best Picture Director, Daniel Tosh, Kyrie Irving, and Bill Burr. While I was making, in fact, I think I was uploading the latest. I was uploading the latest Kyrie Irving thing, and then ODD sends me. I don't know how he found it. Again, love the internet hive mind. I don't know if it was him or one of his listeners. ODD sends me the audio clip for Bill Burr. And I didn't even know Bill Burr had a podcast. And I have watched some of his specials. In fact, he has a special on Netflix right now, and listened to it. That's why I put the language warning in there. You know, I know people go, people can handle the swearing. Well, they can, but he tends to go off on a freaking tear. So he talked about Flat Earth a little bit. And what's the one you were talking about just as we came on the Who and Who show?
It's David Weiss, DITRH, said that Stan Dayo, DAYO, is on the 3rd hour of Hagman and Hagman at this very minute, slamming Flat Earth.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I'll have to listen to that one.
It's being slammed everywhere.
Again, you can't, which is fine.
It's good.
As long as they talk to me, Kyrie, and let's not sell. I mean, yeah, the Tosh thing was cool. The best director, Barry Jenkins, who no one's going to remember next year. No offense to him, which is just cool. Bill Burr's curve, but Kyrie doing a follow up. I mean, the guy's got what did I say? 4.5 million Facebook followers or Twitter followers. 4.5 million Twitter followers.
I'm one of them now.
Yeah, him coming out and reinforcing that, well, that destroys anybody that said, oh, he completely backtracked.
Right.
Which means it gives license to the mainstream media, which is why it's out there. You can just type in Flat Earth and set the filter to 24 hours in any search engine, and it'll just have Kyrie, what's the saying? They're saying doubles down. He doubles down on the whole Flat Earth. He's basically saying, no, I'm not retracting anything. In fact, I'm going the opposite way.
And he was saying there's nothing wrong. It's not a backtrack, but it's softening the blow for people who might be saying things, that there's nothing wrong with looking into things and exploring things.
Exactly.
And the brain you've been given to start thinking about things different than what the mainstream tells you is right.
You know me, question everything. In fact, the picture that I use in the slideshow with the girl with the little bubble, the little dome
Yes.
thing on her
And
hand.
that's
That was
somebody
sent.
that we know too. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
not just a stock photo.
No, that was sent by a regular listener, and that was her daughter holding
Right.
a soap bubble. Oh, that's brilliant. But it is question everything. Don't take anybody's word for it. In fact, I was talking with somebody recently, and I can't remember who it was, and I'm not trying to slight them, but but it all of a sudden occurred to me the boat, because I'm making a new thing of clues. I'm not numbering them anymore, but I'm doing a new set of clues.
Wait a minute. Wait. What?
I
You
am.
mean you're redoing the original clues?
No. These are in addition to the clues that I've already done.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
Exciting.
Well, I've gotten enough material now to where, because I live, breathe, and sleep this stuff, that all of a sudden yeah.
We didn't know that, Mark.
The what?
We didn't know that, Mark.
Well, it's true. I'm into flat Earth a little bit. That I'm starting to come up with different debates in my head now that I'm debating. I'm doing more interviews and I'm doing more things. In fact, I've got a April. Remember the Dark 30 radio interview where I did DITRH and I debated. We're supposed to debate Richard Hoagland and Mark D'Antonio, and it ended up being Mark D'Antonio and Brian Dunning. Well, apparently they can't even get anybody this time around. They're trying to do another debate and they can't get anybody. So they said, hey, how would you just like to come on and take hostile calls? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, why not? So, and I don't know if I'm going to have anybody with me. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. It might be, if he can squeeze it in, it might be Jeffrey Grupp.
That would be cool.
And he just taking calls and seeing what sort of idiots come our way. Weird though, because if you do it on April Fool's Day, you kind of catch them off guard, because like, okay, are we serious about this or are we not serious?
So that's your April Fool's Day show. Cool.
That's the April Fool's Day show on.
I've got one coming up as well. And there's nothing funny or jokey about it, but Michael Lewis, Stars Our Souls, who doesn't really make videos anymore, is going to do a show with me on April.
Oh, cool.
Day, just for fun, So we're going to call it the Flat Earth Fools show, just he and I. So for fun.
The question everything though, argument that came out was when I was going over some stuff in my head, and just fake debates, because I have to sort of debate myself sometimes. Just put myself in other people's shoes. Turn the chessboard around, play a few pieces. Turn the chessboard.
Happens when you're a lonely man.
So alone, so sad. No. But I do have to, if I'm going to debate, because there's so few people coming at us directly from the academic community. I've got a whole nother argument for that, which I'm saving for a rainy day. Anyway, I have enough stuff that I can actually start making more clues in addition to sort of like the one where I did. Remember the video that I put out called So You Live on a Globe, Are You Sure?
To be honest, I don't remember.
That's right. It's going to be kind of like those. So it's not going to be numbers. It's not going to be flat Earth clues 14, 15, 16. It's just going to be flat Earth clues, and then a name next to it. Sort of like you do with sequels to movies,
Oh, okay. Have you ever thought of putting all the flat Earth clues together as one video, as some other people have done?
I did.
You did?
I did. Yeah, I know. And not a huge. I called it. I had to eventually, because those two guys that. How much money did you get off 2.5 million hits? I wonder. A little bit of change.
Probably a pretty good amount.
Very good amount, I think. So the two guys that did it were, one guy, I did not know either of them. They just took it, said, "Oh, I'm just going to mash up his clues because mine's still Creative Commons license. You guys can do it too." And one called it "They Are Hiding God with the Greatest Lie Ever," which is a variation of my "They Are Hiding God" clue name. And then the other guy called it "Under the Dome Full Documentary." Flat Earth was in neither of those. And they have more hits than any other video in Flat Earth right now. In fact, both of them have 2.5 million hits each. And I still don't know who these guys are. They at least finally put my credit, but I think enough people give them crap and said, "Well, you should thank Mark Sargent in the description."
Exactly.
I have no idea who they are. I mean, remember Yoda's Conspiracy Channel? He did it at one point, but those, for whatever reason, I don't know why, got way more traction. I still get emails every single day from people that watch that video. And I think once it gets
say things like, "I saw that movie you made, Mark Sargent." Exactly.
Yeah, that's how that's how I first found out about it, because they said, "Oh yeah, that movie you made." I'm going, "What
movie?
What movie did I make?" "Oh, I saw you have a thing on IMDb. That movie that you made." I was going, "What are you talking about?" So anyway, the point was, question everything. I'm circling back here. question everything, it occurred to me, and somebody tell me if I'm wrong here, that eventually in the arguments, one of the arguments people will lean on, forget about the space program, is, well, we've all seen the boat go over the horizon. And it occurred to me, it's like, wait a minute, what experiment was actually done by a scientist? And I know if I'm rehashing information that other people have already done, forgive me, but I never
Bill
actually.
Nye, the fake science guy.
Yeah.
Back in the day when he was very young, a video where he did like a mock-up of a boat.
The mock-ups, sure. Everybody knows the mock-ups. You take a curvature, you take the boat. But what body did anyone actually? And forget about that little canal in England, because that was actually done for people trying to. They were the Bedford Level experiment, where they were trying to prove flat Earth. What scientist actually went out to a body of water, sent a boat out, with lenses and markers and buoys and the whole thing? What scientist actually did a test where the boat was going to the horizon? I don't think it's ever been done.
Well, flat Earth scientists have redone the Bedford Level.
Well, sure, but what?
Murphy 25 leading it up, and many other flat earthers last year.
Of course, but my thought was, did anyone in science actually, because we've all heard of it, the boat's going over the horizon. We've all observed it, but it's been a casual observation. Mm-hmm. Your eyes would go out there. It's, well, it looks like the boat's gone. Must have gone over the horizon. No, so now I'm going to put it to anybody that's out there in the science world. Tell me what experiment was done. The name of the guy that did it and the year that it was done. Was it ever done by any scientist?
It couldn't be, because unless they get a telescope or a P900 or whatever, then it's not a fair experiment. They just use their naked eye. I mean,
I know. But people still reference it.
Yes, they do. They say things like, "We've all seen the experiment."
We've all seen, which is like, part of the.
No, we haven't. We haven't.
That's another lead into the clue that I'm going to do. I'm thinking of doing that before the end of the week, which is kind of the title of it is Flat Earth Clues We Know.
Oh, Vegan Warrior is in our chat, and I have two things to say about Vegan Warrior. Well, three. Hello, number one. Number two, he said that Hawkins did an experiment. Did he?
No, the helicopter laser experiment. There was no science there. That was just TV cameras.
Well, he's on our side, Vegan Warrior. And Vegan Warrior is my guest tomorrow, this exact same time, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to interview him. So a flat earther and vegan like myself, and he's really an amazing person doing lots of stuff on YouTube now. So subscribe to the Vegan Warrior channel, and I will see everyone tomorrow at the same time.
The Stephen Hawking helicopter experiment, in fact, the fact that they even linked Stephen Hawking's name to that experiment is ludicrous.
Well, Stephen Hawking doesn't exist as a real human.
No,
anyway,
no, he's just anyway, so I thought that was very, very interesting. So anyway, the Kyrie Irving, get back to the Kyrie Irving thing real quick, is great because the season's still going. They're going to be hitting the playoffs here eventually, and then the deeper he goes into the playoffs, the more it's going to help us, because people that type in Kyrie Irving, they are going to get this. Now there's going to be more flat Earth links than there are going to be generic basketball links, which is fantastic.
There's the experiment in Canada with the frozen lake. That was a really, really good one. I can't remember who.
Oh, the snowmobile guy and the
lasers. Link it in the. I hate when I can't give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, again, that guy was not a flat earther. He was just a gearhead with a very mechanical mind that came up with the idea. Hey, there's a frozen lake. I have snowmobiles and lasers and time on my hands. I'm going to go out in the middle of the night and try to prove a flat earth over a frozen lake, which is brilliant because it removes most of the optical effects, which science will say causes the vision issues.
And the water is for sure really flat.
And it's really flat. You don't have to worry about any. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love that. So there was one other thing I wanted to read part of it, unless you wanted to start announcing who's in the chat and who's doing what.
Well, if you want to look it up, somebody calls Stephen Hawking's Stephen Fakings, which is Darren Nicholson. Pretty true.
Nice.
That's a sad story, the whole Stephen Hawking's thing. Whatever is going on, there's no way he could live with the disease he has to his age. He would be the only person probably ever. So he's either being kept alive by machines, it's a puppet. I mean, there's so many theories as to what is really going on, but whatever it is isn't right. It's just not right.
Right.
It's abuse It's
I agree.
abuse of us human beings if we're being fooled, and that's a robotic puppet, or it's abuse of a person if he is imprisoned in his own body and can't really die and is just being used and kept alive by
Well, why not?
drugs and machines or something.
Who's technically because right now, when it comes to mainstream media, who technically is the smartest person on the planet? Alive right now. People would probably choose Stephen Hawking at this point.
That's true.
And he's the most unique because he's wheelchair bound and he's disease ridden and he's got that special voice box thing. So they have a vested interest in keeping him alive, or at least technically the whole impression of him being alive, even if it's not even him. Just keeping that body alive for as long as possible because it helps make science more credible. Sort of like wheeling out Bill Nye for things he has no reason being in panels for. Like, again, the rant. He's got a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, but he's been on panels for climate change, meteorology, quantum physics, astronomy, helped design things for the Mars rover, blah, blah, blah. I mean, all this stuff. Where are his qualifications? There are none. Oh, and Kyrie mentions him. Oh, I should bring this here. Hang on.
All right, I'll go into chat while you get whatever it is you're getting.
Well,
or you already got it.
It's this.
That fast?
It's this. See it?
Oh, keep talking.
It is the Flat World Champions shirt inspired by Richard Jefferson. And can you see it? Is it in frame?
Perfect.
Okay. Inspired by Richard Jefferson from the Cleveland Cavaliers. And normally you buy these from freshtees.com, but when you buy them from freshtees.com, they only had it in Cleveland Cavaliers color, which is that weird purplish brown. And so I got it from Terry's Tees. And Terry's Tees sells it in because I don't think he trademarked the logo, because it's a really simple logo. And I don't think you could trademark it, to be honest. In fact, I haven't worn this one. And
it kind of looks, it's a globe on a stand as well, which is just so funny.
I know. Yeah. Well, it's weird because where are you going to do? Technically, it's a basketball instead of a globe, but it says Flat World. They had to come up with something very quick. So that's what it shows. And yeah, you can get these. And this one's black with gold. And I'm super excited about it. And if anybody has pictures of not just you, but other people wearing this shirt, send them to me. And I will turn it into some sort of slideshow with a music thing, rapid fire with people wearing those T-shirts.
Cool. msargent23@comcast.net.
Yes, please let me know. And that includes Cleveland Cavalier fans. If you find them, if anyone finds fans, because I'm sure they've sold quite a few of these things, because it's either, they're just regular T-shirts. They don't cost that much money. It's not like a hoodie or a jersey or something.
And we're
not
selling them. It's
no. I bought two of them though. I bought one as a gift for my mother, and one for me. And in fact, I may pick up a third one and wear it down at the conference during.
I know your mother, whose name is also Patricia. How weird, is a big sports fan. So for those who are thinking, bought it for his mother, no, really.
I did. Yeah. Well, she wears a lot of Seahawks gears, but the Seahawks haven't been doing this well. And if you can mix sports with Flat Earth, which is brand new, that's what's been happening. Great. So I may wear it for the luncheon, not for the formal thing that we're doing on the last event, but I may actually wear it for the luncheon at the conference.
Were you going to wear it today until I told you, wear something green in honor of St. Patrick's Day?
No, I was going to save it. Because there's a event that I'm going to do, sort of like a Flat Earth social event coming up in Nanaimo, in just north of Victoria, up here in Canada, and I'm doing that a week from Saturday. And it's called like a conspiracy and beer guzzling meetup thing where people are going to. So if anyone wants to, it's going to be at the Rocking Horse Pub in Nanaimo. And it's just
Nanaimo. I've never heard of Nanaimo. I like saying Nanaimo though.
Nanaimo. Yeah, I think it's in a Native American name.
Yeah, pretty much. So everything is in your name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I was going to wear this to that. I'm pretty sure I was going to do that. So we'll see. It's
now, I was going to do another Flat Earth mixer for Earth Day, which is in April this year, but I'm not going to. I said I was going to, but then my niece announced her engagement, and she is getting married in August in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so I'm going to use that Grand Rapids traveling moment while I'm there to hold Flat Earth bowling meetup.
Oh, you're gonna do a meetup in Michigan,
Grand Rapids, Michigan, just because
in
I did one in
August.
Houston. So I'm not doing the one I was going to do
Okay.
in April this year.
I
Things changed. They're in flux because of, well, personal issues. My niece just announced her engagement, and also we didn't really know the FEIC 2017 was coming up in November until
Right.
a little while ago. So that changed, pushed our flatties forward from what should have been in February to November. So things are in flux. That's life, right?
The mixer that I did last year in Seattle, it will probably be in Victoria this year. So because I will probably be up here around then. So again, it's just down the road or up the road from Seattle.
Should I do one? Well, should I do?
I don't know. I mean, why not? I mean, it's going to be Earth Day. You should take feelers and see. You got time.
Anybody?
You got 6 weeks.
Well, do I have 6 weeks? Earth Day is in
5
April.
weeks.
Right. So April, I forgot what date, April 11th.
22nd.
Oh, it's April 22nd. Okay, good. I forgot. Anyway,
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I don't know if anybody in chat is a person who lives in Houston, Texas, but if you are.
If anybody wants to go, if anyone's thinking of going to Patricia's Houston mixer, if they want her, then email Patricia and let her know.
Yeah. Please do. It's mssteere@gmail.com. That's Miss, MISS, and then Steere, STEERE @gmail.com. Let's see what's going on in our live chat. We've got Ludlow Films and Awaken Minds, and Bling Bling is here. That's a good channel to subscribe to, Bling Bling. She's got some good videos. So she's talking about watch Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues and watch videos by Eric Dubay. She's trying to help out somebody in chat. We've got DITRH saying, for anyone interested in hearing idiots who think they are smart, here is the Stan Deo link for his appearance on Hagman and on Caravan to Midnight. Shane Corning is here. Kent Wentworth is here. And Keith Wentworth, that's the one contact lens not doing too well here, is asking for someone to recommend some beginners videos for Jason, as I said earlier. Flat Earth Clues, and then Bling Bling said Eric Dubay. ODD has got some great videos.
Yep, Marty Leeds. There's a whole bunch out there. Yeah, I mean, I literally had to make a playlist for new people called the Flat Earth Shortlist for new people.
Yeah, that's a good one. So go to Mark Sargent's channel, go to a playlist called Flat Earth Shortlist, and then you'll find lots of videos by all sorts of different
all sorts
providers.
Of people. I think I don't even know if I have a video on there anymore. I think it's all of the other people now.
Yeah, so you will find ODD there.
ODD's there, Marty Leeds, Jaronism, Bob, Geneticism, so on and so on and so
on. Want to say hello to Byron Clown and Ginger Sugarbush. Ginger Sugarbush sent me, in our last show we did together, he was saying in the chat that he has a tattoo of James Bond on his arm. And he does. He sent me a picture of it. So
which Bond?
The Scottish one. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Let's see. Cynthia OC is here. Zulu One is here.
I know that guy.
I know you do. Jason CG says he thinks Flat Earth is wrong, and he's the person that people are giving video recommendations to. Well, Jason might think Flat Earth is wrong, but welcome to our campfire. Thank you for being here. You are around the Flat Earther campfire, and people are super nice, and we have a lot of good informative shows in the Flat Earth, some very serious and some fun. This is one more on the fun side.
What's his name again?
Jason CG.
Jason CG. Join us or die.
It's a cult. Join now. Give up all your worldly possessions.
One of us.
msargent23 at comcast.net. We're joking. Someone's going to clip that out and make a video.
Email me and I'll send you your brightly colored hooded robe.
Exactly.
And sash.
And email me and I will send you the recipe for the Kool-Aid.
It wasn't actually Kool-Aid that they used in Jonestown. It was the generic version. It was Flavor Aid.
Now that's sad.
I know, and Kool-Aid took all the abuse for it. I mean, a lot of moms did not buy Kool-Aid for years.
And also it's sad because if, the last thing you drink is an off-brand beverage.
I know, right? At least go for Anyway, sorry. Keep going.
Um, Five Artes Liberalis, Malav Cocktail is here. We've got Knowledge Scavenger, Paula. Retro Rich Alex says, Patricia and Mark, I was thinking about the WWF wrestler Hulk Hogan, and I've come up with a great play on words, but what are you going to do when Flat Mania comes running wild on you global heads?
How many more do you have? Because I should segue the wrestling thing into the AJ Styles interview.
Yeah, do it. I'll just go back and read them as later.
One of the other things, again, along with all the other stuff we're talking about, AJ Styles coincidentally got interviewed again. And the headline, this is from, I'll just read one of them. This one from the comeback.com underneath the science section, called AJ Styles insists he is not a flat earther, but says flat earthers have interesting points. And let's see here. Flat eartherism is all the rage for professional athletes these days after Duke-educated Cleveland Cavaliers star Kyrie Irving stated that he thought the earth was flat. WWE professional wrestler AJ Styles wants you to know that he isn't a flat earther, but maybe they have some good points. And the original article's from Wrestling Inc. And I'm just going to read you his quotes. I'm not a flat earther, but there are some things that they say. To which Styles responds, I never thought about it like that. Here's the thing. You don't have to believe anything that's told to you. Like you can always question anything. Styles added, and although I'm not a flat earther, again, there are some things that like make sense. But then again, he's very articulate, this guy. Then again, satellites, the curvature. I know he's going to be like, I'm going to beat the crap out of him. The curvature
coming your way.
The satellites, the curvature of the earth. If you're a sniper, you've got to take all that into account. I'm not a flat earther, third time, but they bring up some interesting points. It's interesting, and I think you should be able to question anything you want, and you don't have to agree with everybody. And let's see here. There's one other thing.
Oh, wait. Is it that he says he's not a flat earther?
Let's see if he does it a fourth time. I just find it interesting. I watch all the stuff about aliens. I'm a sci-fi guy. I just enjoy that stuff and conspiracy theories. That intrigues me. So there are just a number of things. I could have killed Daniel Bryan for saying that when Daniel Bryan outed him on television. Because now you get all this stuff. God, shut up. Please don't get that started because I'll never hear the end of it. But it's interesting. But I find a lot of things interesting when it comes to science fiction or fact. I don't know. Who can say? The only person that ever told me or told the world that the other planets exist is NASA. But there's a reason for all. They're making a lot of money. A lot of money. They have a lot of money coming in. He likes to repeat himself. Be repetitive, say the same things over and over. NASA is not an American thing. It's a world thing. A lot of people don't know that. So when you start asking questions, there are not a lot of answers sometimes. And that was basically the end of that article. But read the article. It's from Wrestling Inc. or just look up AJ Styles and set the filter for the last day or two.
And as he walked away with his bodyguards, he yelled out, "I'm not a flat earther."
Exactly. In fact, there, because wrestling's all that drama, that fake drama thing, he supposedly has now broken, there's a rift between he and Brian. And as he was being chased out of the locker room, some of their guys where you could hear them in the background, "You're a flat earther, man. You can't bring that stuff in here." Man, seriously, come on.
The wrestling ring is flat. That's what
it's a good hype. I like it. I mean, it's a good, any way you can get into this is a good way to get into it. People are coming up with creative ways to broach the topic everybody's learning from other people's mistakes or not mistakes. They're going, okay, Kyrie did it one way. B.O.B. did it one way. Tequila, insert rolling device here. She did it yet another way. So Bill Burr, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, we forgot.
Well, we'll talk about the other thing in a second.
Yeah.
Who else is in chat?
All right, let's go into chat. Ginger Sugarbush says, thanks for shouting him out. We've got Lenny Harry talking about being vegan. I'm vegan, Lenny. So, hey, welcome to our chat. I've never seen you here before. Silver Wolf is in here. Martin Leedkey. I know I'm repeating names. That's what happens when I bounce back and forth in here. Bob from Globebusters. Geo Shifter. Awaken Mind, who I mentioned earlier. Vegan Warrior makes a good point that NASA doesn't need money. It's government. It takes our money without our real permission. Jonathan Roberts has joined us. Ian Tinsley, Pete Shea, and Fred in Montana, I might have mentioned before. Omar Corona, and I have no idea what he's saying. Something. Andres is here. Felix, I am. And I don't know if I mentioned Stock Jockey. I hope so. Lee Redpath is here. Rockin is here. A name I can't really pronounce that looks like Saverniel Norbert. And some person trolling in a funny way with a play on words name.
Is it a Hot Potatoes play on words name?
No, it's another channel's play on words name for Martin Lead Key play on words name for his Flat Earth British sort of slogan that he uses. So they're being pleasant. So, the people who have moderator powers in chat are pretty gentle. They don't ban people, unless someone comes in and starts using profanity or making weird accusations. Carly Sunshine is here. Oh, it looks like somebody got their message deleted. Interesting. Wonder what it was. Let me see if I can view it. Nope, can't. I would have read it. Sometimes it's good to read some of the messages that get banned or deleted because there's so very few, because they're usually something crazy and horrendous. You're like, why would somebody even say that?
True.
Jovan Trendmaker is here. Dame Ethel tripped with me. I remember doing a show with you back when Q&A was something we did. I can't even figure out how to use Q&A anymore. They changed things. My cat is sharpening his claws on the jukebox. Rory, not good. And Dame Ethel tripped with me. I couldn't read the word. I couldn't read the name. I didn't know what the name was. And I was like, dummy. I didn't understand that it was a play on words. And now I know much better. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of other people in chat, but want to get back to what we were doing? What were we doing?
Now I'm sorry. There's a Simpsons joke in my head where Bart would always call the bar and come up with like he'd make up wordplay names. Like, I'm looking for a Mr. Freely, first name IP. No, IP Freely. Is there an IP? Funny. Yeah. What? Because we didn't do a show last week. I'm going through some of the
because I had a massive headache, which occasionally happens. Rory is here to visit. Rory's in the chat.
Hi, Rory. You good cat.
He is a good cat.
Did I mention to you that, remember I read the New Yorker magazine article? Yes. I thought that was very interesting. And I should probably clarify here. Like, wait, there was something I was going to say.
I know there was something I was going to say too.
No, somebody wrote me and they said you had to clarify something on the air. And it's
right. Like, I think we did that last time. It was the education of the guy, you don't want to say his name, NDT. Yeah, and I think you clarified they'd made a mistake.
Oh yeah, I made a mistake with that. But again, that still doesn't hurt us in any way. If anything, it makes it worse, because look, if you have a PhD in astrophysics, you should know the curvature formula. Although interesting that for anyone out there doing curvature, when you're quoting 8 inches per mile squared, after the first 1,000 miles, you have to change your math and it gets all weird. 99% of the time, it's not going to make any difference because you're talking about distances under 200 miles. But apparently after about 1,000 miles, 8 inches gets thrown out the window and then it turns into something like 16 inches per mile squared. Believe it or not.
Well, the thing about curvature math is it's almost unimportant to learn because it's not real.
I know. But somebody actually called me on. They go, look, if it's 4,000 miles, the radius, then when you're doing the math, it doesn't turn out right. But it does work out right at 8 inches per mile squared. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so the New Yorker magazine, I thought it was very interesting. You know what? Let's talk about something more relevant first. Well, it's because it's in their heads, and that is what's happening this Sunday.
Oh, Eric Dubé.
Yeah.
Yes, I mentioned that in our opening.
That was fast.
Eric's been coming out lately, doing a lot more with the public.
So Eddie Bravo mentions Eric Dubé and his video at the InfoWars dinner in Austin, Texas. And the video was called the History of Flat Earth. And within less than a week, all of a sudden, Eddie is going to have Eric on his show. Now, I don't know if it's audio or video. I don't know, but either way, fantastic, great.
Yeah, it's great. Really great. More people's minds will be open. More people's minds will be blown. And from all that group of people, some will laugh outright. Some will think, I need to learn more. And others will just have it like that what do you always say? BB or something in a paint can. It'll just be
Oh
rattling
yeah,
around
yeah,
in
marble in
there.
a paint can. Yeah.
Right.
Either way, if Eddie Bravo is going to dedicate a whole thing to it, fantastic, great. And
Mhm.
I don't think for a second this is an accident. This is a great litmus test for other people. Again, Alex Jones will be watching this. Joe Rogan will be watching this, trying to figure. Other people will be watching this, going, okay, what sort of media backlash will there be on Eddie Bravo?
Right.
Can he hold his own? Can he turn the crowd in the time that Eric's on with him? Or are they going to be delving around into too many different things and they kind of lose him? I mean, I hope they don't go deviate from flat earth and dinosaurs too much, but who knows? It's Eric's shot, and I don't know what Eddie's agenda is going to be, so whatever they decide to do.
Well, Eric will probably comport himself perfectly well,
Well,
knowing
if it's
how important it is.
if it's anything like, I mean, the hangout that he did for Dell,
Mhm.
then
It was
great.
fantastic.
I
I doubt
super
he's going to be dressing up as me, is what I'm trying to say.
great. Love to see whatever he can do, and hope for the best. And a dedicated show from Eddie Bravo. It's gonna be great. I will definitely be listening.
Yes.
On a side note, I want to mention the New Yorker magazine, which they wrote an interesting article about how he was saying, and I'm not saying that I completely endorse the whole simulation model, but what he was basically saying was that there's things happening now that are things that used to be extremely unlikely and improbable are now becoming more commonplace. Things that we'd never ever we never seen before, like a reality television star being elected president of the United States, even though his opponent, a long-time politician, seemed to have the thing wrapped up. Even diehard Republicans said, "Yeah, there's no way he's going to get elected," and he got elected. The Super Bowl champs, defying Vegas odds. No team had ever come from behind from that far. No, there's never been an overtime in Super Bowl history, and both these things happened in the same night. The Oscars.
Yes.
The Oscars, and you got to remember the Oscars. That was that was so unlikely. That's why the guy wrote the article. He's going, look, thousands and thousands of envelopes over 80 years have been handed out. No one's ever gotten it wrong on anything.
Price Waterhouse, I think, is
Price Waterhouse. Yeah.
I mean, this is a long-standing, reputable. For something to go wrong like that is weird. But because something goes wrong, does that make it a computer simulation?
No, it doesn't. No,
does that make it a computer simulation?
No, it doesn't make it a computer simulation. But it does go to show you that all bets are off.
Right.
You combine that with the one thing he completely left out of the article, which I thought was interesting, was that one of the world's greatest athletes comes out in favor of flat Earth.
That is weird.
And his good friend, the most recognizable face of athletics in the world, LeBron James, doesn't shoot him down, and actually, is quite jovial about it. All these four things happened in a span of 3 months. And we're just, we're halfway through March. So what I'm saying is that the reason why it was significant to me, because I'm a big stats nut, all bets are off at this point. Anything that you thought was impossible at this point, don't count it out, because what we have seen so far, you would have lost Vegas would have lost huge amounts of money. The Oscars thing was unbelievable, because if you've ever seen the movie series Final Destination.
Yes.
Where you're trying to cheat death, and a certain series of things has to happen in a certain order.
Right.
Emma Stone walking off stage, distracting the accountant representative enough to where he's handed the envelope from her win, and then just turns around and gives it to the guy that's going up for Best Picture, who happens to also be a veteran, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway, veteran Hollywood people, and they didn't catch it. And even then, the people came up and announced it wasn't the wrong thing was announced. People came up for their acceptance speeches. The whole team went up there. At La La Land, they were all up on stage with you. Oh yeah, thank you, holding the statues. It was
embarrassing, and having to just rip it out of someone's hand. Not
the
really.
Producers
kind of
took the producers so long. Producers running out on stage, going, "Look, it's not a joke. It's not part of a skit. it's so unbelievably likely. Anyway, the point of all these things happening in a very short amount of time, I'm not saying that it's a simulation theory. What I'm saying is whatever probability laws seem to be breaking down.
Yes. I've been
And
thinking about the simulation theory. I've been against it because I don't like to think that we have that we are living inside what amounts to a video game.
yeah,
It seems so cold and impersonal. And when you can reach out and hold your baby or your loved one or pet your dog or cat and feel the sun on you, it makes it feel like this is, I mean, wow.
yeah.
It just seems wrong. It seems dark. It has dark overtones to it. But aspects of simulation theory appeal to me, like the age-old debate in flat Earth of an infinite plane or a dome. I kind of feel that there's both, that there's more land, infinite land, and a dome. Now, how could that be? How could that be? That doesn't make sense. Well, it could be if it's simulation theory, and something you said a long time ago in computer programming, that it doesn't really have an end. The more you move toward the end, it just keeps expanding outward. Maybe you can clear that up.
Yeah.
You could have a dome, and you could, or a force field, or a firmament, or a ceiling, whatever you want to call it. And you could also have an endless amount of land from which to explore.
Exactly. And I am not, don't get me wrong, and I don't want to be misquoted here, but people will seem to think that the two camps are completely apart from each other. I mean, the dome and infinite plane goes like, no. They may continue on out there for a long ways. What I'm saying is that you can't get there. That's the only difference I have. Whereas the infinite plane, people say, no, man, you can, Matt, you can get there. Piece of fuzz in my head. You can get there, but they aren't allowing you. There's no barrier. I'm going, no. If you were going to build this place, you'd make a barrier for whatever reason, for one of two reasons, either to keep us safe or to keep us from getting out and wreaking havoc.
We have other barriers too, which shows that one could be a barrier as well. We've got the depth of the water. We have the seemingly inescapable ceiling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The radiation belt or the lack of oxygen. I mean, there's natural barriers already in effect. Who's to say, look, if you're going to create natural barriers, then you're also going to create physical barriers, actual physical hard barriers
on all sides too. So
exactly. The natural barriers are just to keep people, to turn them around before they actually hit the edge. No different than the Truman Show, where all the natural things, his fear of crossing water, his fear of dogs, his, the whole sailboat thing. And there's something I came up with recently, and I didn't get a chance to use it in an interview, which was, look, if you're, think of the Truman Show like this. Everyone thinks of the Truman Show, they just think of Jim Carrey and all the rest are actors. What if you had a way, let's just hypothetically here, say that the entire town, we'll just use the Truman Show, the entire town was oblivious to it. Nobody in the town freaking knew. Say a couple generations went by and nobody in the town knew. And let's say just on accident, the mayor was the guy in the sailboat instead of the Truman Show, instead of Truman. And he gets out there and runs into the wall or sees the wall and gets up to it, bangs on his fist. He's different from Truman. Truman had nothing to lose. Everyone knew what Truman was going to do when he got out there. He's going to find the door and he's going to leave first chance he gets. He didn't have to even think about it very long. He was out of here. What would the mayor do? Because the mayor has a lot to lose at that point. He's got a position of power. He's got influence. He's got friends. He's got all these things. Would the mayor go back and tell people? Or would he do the opposite? Would he go back and maybe select a few people and say, you know what? No one goes out there. We've got to limit our sailing routes. We've got to limit this. We've got to limit that. And you're saying, well, what's the point? I go, and the point is it comes down to the people that are involved in hiding something from you. You, the individual, think, oh, well, if I found, I'd come back and tell people. Yeah, you might. You might not have anything to lose compared to people of power. The more power you have, the more influence you have, the more you have to lose. People that have a lot to lose don't want to give that up. And that's the Truman Show reference is a perfect example of that. Truman left because he knew it was all a fake. He knew his wife was a sham and his friends were a sham and the whole town was a sham. He knew this. But what if the whole town didn't know? And if you're the mayor of that town, then You
That is a
probably
very
hide.
good analogy. And also, the mayor of that town or any other sort of powers would do certain things to keep the rest of the people oblivious. And some of those things might be shows like The Kardashians,
Yeah,
fluoride, GMOs, chemtrails, vaccines, distractions of any sort, false flag events, et cetera, et cetera, et
yep,
cetera.
yep.
Lots of things, sleight of
Distractions.
hand,
Yep.
distractions, like a magic trick. One hand's doing something, and the other hand is making your eyes go over toward it. So,
Target demographics. The entertainment industry has something for you nowadays. There's literally something for everyone in the entertainment, to the point where now it's all redundant. We've done it. Like, again, still not to harp on it, but why producers haven't done a flat Earth show when we've got how many different shows with the word beard in the title?
right,
Sorry,
exactly. And how many remakes of King Kong can we really have?
I just saw that. I just watched that, and it actually had an interesting reference in there where one of the scientists talked about the reason why they were on the island was he started down a hollow Earth path. He mentioned it 2 different times in the movie, how he was into hollow Earth, and that's what led him into the discovery of Kong. I thought that was very interesting. And also, I also downloaded and watched, movie reference, La La Land.
Oh, wow. I
Just
noticed you said La La Land a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I hadn't watched really any of the Best Picture nominees, and I've watched now 3 or 4 of them. And I downloaded La La Land. It was interesting because one of the dancing scenes was they went up to the observatory in Los Angeles, outside of Los Angeles, that observatory on the big hill. And inside there is apparently some planetarium inside one of those rooms, I think. And they had it completely lit up with the Milky Way, and they were dancing. They were elevated into near the ceiling of the planetarium. And I thought that was very interesting. It's like, okay, how many times is a planetarium actually used in a Hollywood dancing scene? Not many times.
That's the Griffith Observatory.
There you go. Griffith Observatory. Also used it's used in various movies, but
yes,
it was interesting that they would use it. And the planetary imagery was way better than it would be normally. And it had depth to it and all this fun stuff. And I'm watching this going, yeah, what are you doing? So because we missed last week, I forgot to mention why the Eddie Bravo thing was significant, in case people only watch our show and didn't catch the Eddie Bravo stuff. It was on YouTube. Eddie Bravo, one of Joe Rogan's co-hosts, was invited down to Texas to go on the Alex Jones show, because that's where he's located down. I think it's Austin, Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
That's where Alex is, Austin.
Yes. And Alex was very clever because he knew that eventually Eddie would be talking about flat Earth. So what he did was, I'd never seen this before. He had his producers, his team, and the InfoWars team and the Eddie Jones team meet at a restaurant. Alex Jones was not there, noticeably not there. And he just got drinks into Eddie and just wound him up like a top.
Well, Eddie Bravo's already sort of primed for flat Earth material since he's really into UFOs to start with. So his mind is definitely the kind of mind that can grasp concepts that a lot of people would poo-poo.
And he ran that table. In fact, it was on a Tuesday night. I know because I was going to do my show, and I was literally watching his feed within 5 minutes of me going on air. I was just watching, going, oh, this is great stuff. I hope somebody records it. InfoWars only put 40 minutes of that 2+ hours on their channel. Then they pulled it. But before they pulled it, I grabbed it and then took out the 20 minutes of Flat Earth and posted it. And then somebody else who had downloaded the entire stream, I grabbed their thing and took out the other 25 minutes of Flat Earth. So he was talking about Flat Earth for a long time and was doing a great job, because he's so enthusiastic, has a lot of conviction. And look, if you know a lot of the flat Earth material, you can steamroll people. The science just does not have the weapons to go up against you. And that's why, and the last part of that was when he mentions Eric Dubé's video.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Eddie Bravo is a jiu-jitsu master, and he has a jiu-jitsu, it's hard to say jiu-jitsu company.
Jiu-jitsu. He's just say martial arts.
Martial arts, exactly. Well, the martial arts are all different, and I wanted to make sure to say the right one. And it's called 10th Planet. So if Flat Earth eventually becomes known, he might have to call it 10th Unknown Shimmering Body of Light.
Nice. Also, after that happened, shortly was the Howard Stern reference,
Yes.
where I don't know his name. Thank you to whoever that was that called into the Howard Stern show and mentions flat Earth, then mentions me. Interesting though,
I didn't
where
recognize that guy's voice at all.
no, I didn't either.
He sounded East Coast though.
Oh, okay. So what Howard Stern's team, very quick on the uptake, they immediately grabbed the first video they could off of YouTube. And what was that? That was ODD's video, which was Flat Earth is the Truth, or something of that effect. And they played just a short snippet of that. And when they did that, then they started making fun of it, of course, because they're going to, they're going to.
And Robin Quivers, she made fun of it to the point of it was too much.
Yeah, I mean, she's so used to the whole play on words thing on a surface level that bird brain, funny, even though no one I think has ever questioned Admiral Byrd's integrity ever.
Right. He's not a
really,
dumb man.
He's our greatest explorer.
Even if you don't believe in flat Earth, if you believe in that aspect of history and look at what he did, I mean, that was a very intelligent, very brave person. So he's not a bird brain for sure.
But remember, she's trained to attack. That's what she's been doing for decades.
But people always say, and I don't know if it's true or not, I hate to say women feel this way and men feel that way, because I think we're all the same, really. And we all deserve, equal rights, and there's nobody who should be, led ahead of the other. We're all people. We're all human, or Hugh person, or whatever you want to call it. But Robin, being a woman, it's as if she had this harder shell exterior on her, but that could come from being the only woman among a bunch of guys telling, potty jokes for years.
Oh,
and
years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I expected her to warm to the idea a little bit more, or say something like, "Oh, that sounds interesting." But no.
You know what he didn't do though? He didn't completely dismiss it right off the bat. Didn't just say, "Oh, thank you, crazy person." Click. He had done that. He didn't. In fact, after he hung up, he kind of went with it for a little while, saying our next show is going to be broadcast from the edge. We're going to go to the end of the world. And some people are saying, "Oh, he may do it." He's like, no, he will not be doing anything, even if it's simulated.
Sirius Satellite Network, isn't that what he broadcast?
Yeah. He still makes big bucks doing that. I mean, Lord knows that man has had a hell of a career.
I've got Private Parts of DVD. I've always liked Howard Stern. Being in radio in my past, I always liked him due to the fact that you could know his whole story and how he came up in radio and what it was like for him. And a lot of those stories, for anybody in radio, they will relate to it. They will relate to all the little ins and outs of what it's like to be bossed around by somebody who's not smart enough to tie their own shoes, but they are your boss, and that's how radio works. And getting fired a lot from radio stations and then having to start over in another place. And I always liked him and admired him, although his jokes sometimes weren't my cup of tea, and the boob jobs for strippers stuff that he does, or throwing baloney on naked women's butts, all that it just was stupid to me. I wasn't against it or anything. It just wasn't for me. But I liked him as a person somehow.
His audience, I don't know if he feels this way privately, but his audience, you want to talk about the lowest common denominator. Whoa.
But there's a lot of really smart people who like Howard Stern.
Oh, there are.
ITRH, for example. So
there are, but there's a lot that aren't.
True. Very, very, very true.
There aren't.
You know what? I think that DITRH would be great if he was ever on the Howard Stern show as a guest talking about flat Earth.
I think he would be too.
Yeah. Let's make that happen.
By the way, I forgot the follow up to the Alex Jones thing, which is what was interesting was once the dinner was over and he actually formally went on Alex Jones' show the next day, never came up. The entire show, several hours worth, flat Earth never came up. And I think Alex Jones went to him and said, which not shocking, because once they pulled the videos, once they pulled the flat Earth content, even the informal restaurant content from the Alex Jones, from the InfoWars YouTube channel, I think Alex went to him and said, look, we watched social media while you were doing it. There's too many people that say things, use the words such as, we will unsubscribe from you if you continue down this path, which is very common. Again, it's that knee-jerk reaction. And so Alex, which is why Alex has still never done a flat Earth show to this day, because he's scared to death of losing subscribers. It comes down to the money. Sorry, it's true. And then I think there was going to be a follow-up interview where he was going to stay and be interviewed with, I can't remember her name, a co-host. He was going to do like a separate show, video show on the Alex Jones, and that was canceled. And I don't think Eddie was the one that canceled it.
Got some people speaking in chat about Howard Stern. Awakened Mind says, well, Howard Stern and Alex Jones. I'll read whatever I'm finding here. Awakened Mind says, Alex knows, but needs to be prudent. Kind of interesting. Nora of No One's Flower channel and Ukdina Walker are saying that Howard Stern's pretty low on their list of people that they like. A couple other people are agreeing with that as well. Pale Queen says, I met Howard and he was a very nice guy. Nothing like he is on air. That's the thing I always get from him. I think of him as being at heart a nerd and a soft-spoken, shy person who became famous. And I see that in him. And I see what he's done to achieve what he calls success with his life. So
you know full well that in the media biz, if you have, once a producer finds your niche, that's the niche you go with until you can find another one. And it doesn't matter if it reflects on your personality at all. And actors hate that, which is, you have to be this overbearing, caustic jerk. And it's like, really? I do? And it's like, yeah, man, but people love it. They love it when you do that. And so you either go with it or you don't go with it. And in his case, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but on air, he has to be the most rude,
But most of the time it's his co-hosts or guests that are more rude than him.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't shut him down.
Right, exactly. So Mark Ofsky is in our chat. Dan Dimension is in the chat and says he got his first copyright strike today. Oh, not good.
What was it for? You should ask him.
Yeah, Dan, what was it for?
Tell me, because I like to know.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. Oh, while you're looking at that, another thing which came up since the last time we talked was ODD jumping on AMTV, which I used to watch, which was his name, Daniel Green? AMTV, about 400,000 subscribers.
Yes.
ODD reality. It's fantastic. And I was a video interview for 30 minutes.
I'm trying to, I don't mean to be distracted.
No. It's okay.
You
just tell me when you want me to jump in and
I'm looking up Zen Garcia because Zen Garcia's got a big contest going on. So you can go to.
Oh, right. Yeah. Look that up. Zen Garcia mentioned that to me on air. And the short version is that we're basically going to try to bait scientists into coming at us with real money.
$8,250 is up for grabs.
Oh, that's just his side of it. I've got another guy.
Globe believers, and he's, if you're not familiar with Zen Garcia, I've interviewed him. Many people have been on his show, and he's got a bunch of different books. Flat Earth is the Key to Decrypt the Book of Enoch, and the Firmament Vaulted Dome of the Earth, and Sacred World Publishing does some of his stuff. Anyway, they've got this open challenge with that amount of money for any person or any organization anywhere who can scientifically verify in a couple experiments that either the Earth is moving or that there is measurable curvature. So I think a school could hop on this and try to do it,
Absolutely. And if anyone wants to jump in and say, oh, yeah, if somebody could prove me the globe, I'd put in X number of dollars. I've already said, look, I'll put in $1,000 if anyone can prove the globe. And I should probably put more. Another guy wrote me and said he's going to pony up $10,000 if somebody can prove and show me an experiment that has water sticking to a ball.
Yes. I believe Zen Garcia is either going to be at FEIC 2017 or Kathy Dunson will be there.
One of those two will be there.
Selling his books or, and just mixing and mingling with everyone. So that will be great. And Zen Garcia is doing a show with some female flat earthers on Saturday. And I'm going to be in on that as well. And it's Saturday, the 25th of March. Kathy Dunson will be there, Amber Plaster, Carly Sunshine, Amy Denise, and myself. So join us for that on Zen Garcia's channel. For more information on that challenge, just go to Zen Garcia's Facebook page. That would be, I would think, the best place to
Yeah.
go find out more about that. So it's Zen Garcia, just as it sounds. It's spelled the same way.
Yep. Agreed.
So let me see what's going on in the chats. Maybe Dan Dimension has said why he got the copyright strike.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Let's see if there's anything.
My Love Cocktail is saying, yes, Zen is the man.
Flat Earth Asshole's been doing a lot of stuff. Somebody turned
I gotta say what Odd Reality said. ODD. He says, "Ladies' night at Zen's on Saturday." Yep, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right, or however it goes.
Who sung that? Was that Commodores? No.
I'm guessing Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Was that Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Maybe not. Ladies' night, the feeling's right.
Somebody in chat, pick up on that, please.
This is why people say the secret show doesn't focus on flat Earth.
Well, look, we're not, you know us.
I'm looking at that song.
I don't think we've ever said to each other, Patricia, can you please just focus on flat Earth?
Never, in fact.
No, it's never happened.
It's never supposed to be that way on this show.
No.
It's supposed to be.
Oh, you know what? I have a criticism about Eric Dubay.
You?
I do have a criticism, and that is Flat Earth and all that jazz video that he put up. It's got 6,000 hits already.
You know what? I didn't watch it. I saw the thumbnail was a guitar, and I thought, I'm going to watch that later. But then I will. But what's wrong with it?
Okay, Curved Water Music.
Curved Water Music is in our chat, actually.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they did it. They did some great mashups of his vocals into music. But he integrated all the songs into one video. No, break it up into separate songs, man. Don't make a freaking 12.5-minute thing, because people, they say music 12.5 minutes, then because otherwise you're going to start looking like Math Powerland, who
Cool
actually will do a freaking
Gang.
song for 16 minutes. What?
Cool in the Gang. That's who sung Ladies' Night.
Was that Cool in the Gang?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad now.
Yep, Ladies' Nights.
Because I actually use that term quite often when they say, "Are you cool?" I'm going, dude, it's all Cool in the Gang.
1979. I should know, but some bands I get confused. So
Celebrate, #1 hit.
yes. Celebrate good times. Come on. That's how it goes.
That song's been played to death.
Yep.
While you're doing that, I want to do is typing in Flat Earth and just looking over the last month and seeing.
I'm going to go back into chat.
Beyond the Imaginary Curve, Flat Earth Street Interview, Computer Science Guys.
Edward Wilson says disco sucks. Yes, you know that I remember being 54 years old now. I had to think how old I am because my birthday was just in February. That there was the big disco sucks thing happening.
Oh yeah, there was a backlash. Freaking record burnings.
Yes, and then I remember later what we called then new wave, that now people call post-punk, came out, and that's kind of where my taste.
Post-punk? No, it's still new wave.
Well, we call it new wave because of our age, but a lot of people call it post-punk, and that's where my taste pretty much lies. One would call it 80s music, but more of the new wave, post-punk 80s music, as opposed to the hair bands 80s music. So that's my thing. Witness my Smiths albums behind me here.
Right.
Let's see. Big L's like, disco sucks, with a questioning face. Curved Water Music says the tracks are available individually on my site, so no problem. So go to Curved Water
you know
Music.
what? Then I'm definitely going to Curved Water Music, and I'm going to grab them because I have the mashup from Eric's thing in my music list. But if there are separate tracks, I will definitely I will put them up now. Fantastic. Good one.
Ginger Sugarbush is asking, who doesn't like the Bee Gees? I've never liked the Bee Gees or ABBA.
Well, not to go off on a separate rant here, because my sister was a huge Andy Gibb fan who died young.
That's Shadow Dancing.
Shadow Dancing.
Yes. My sister liked Andy Gibb too.
She also had a Sean Cassidy album, another story.
So did my sister.
Oh yeah.
And the pick posters with the
Sean Cassidy under wraps. Yeah. Even though they deny it, I still think BG stands for Brothers Gibb.
I thought it always did.
I know, but people said, well, they have said that no, it didn't stand for them. I was going, really? Because it certainly fits.
You know, David Cassidy was recently came out, or not diagnosed, but recently came out as having a dementia. So
happened. Let's see. Redfield Philosophy, Globebusters. There's so many videos that have come out recently. In fact, if you type in Flat Earth and you sort by upload date, I think it's up to 16.4 million,
wow,
which is huge. I'm almost thinking of doing another stats video, but every time I do that, they tend to come after me and do bad things.
Oh, we've got Nathan Oakley saying "How Deep Is Your Love" is a good song. Yeah, I guess it is a good song, Bee Gees song.
Well,
And
Bee Gees,
really, they are kind of good. Maybe I don't hate
look,
them. Maybe I used to hate them, but as I got older, when I listen to them, I'm not as repulsed as I was back when they came out.
the numbers don't lie. Saturday Night Fever, the
No,
soundtrack.
numbers do lie. Popular things oftentimes are horrible.
Are they though?
Yeah,
Because
I think
people
so.
buy them. Look,
Well,
a lot of people.
often-
Let me. Here's a perfect example.
The taste level of a lot of people is not so good.
Look, I went to different things. I was on the road doing video game stuff when the Macarena came out. And
Okay, that song's horrible.
it is, but yet when that song came on,
Macarena.
wherever we were, if there was a dance floor, that dance floor would absolutely get jam-packed full of people.
I was working in radio in Napa, California, at an AM FM combo radio station, and the Macarena came out, and immediately I was just and there was a couple other ones that came out. Bop by Hanson Brothers came out then, and then Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba, and I literally felt like putting my head through a plate glass window.
Here's an example I'll give you, and then we'll switch over to something else, which is Chris Rock had an interesting stand-up thing where he was talking. I don't know if he was talking about the Grammys, but he compared the Spice Girls album, that big one, with heroin. He goes, no, not in the way you might think. He goes, it's interesting. He goes, that album sold millions and millions of copies, but nobody apparently owns it.
Right.
It's like one of those secret albums that you buy, you put in the back of the record collection, and you never ever talk about it with friends. You only listen to it when you're by yourself. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people. Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. We think it's terrible now. There's still songs but most of the songs I hate now are just because I overplayed them.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Big Al is talking about Michael Jackson being the biggest artist of all time, and you're going to tell me he sucks. Now, I'm not saying Michael Jackson sucks, but I've never been a Michael Jackson fan. I understand his talents, but it just never appealed to me. One of those kind of
in the right place at the right time. Thriller was absolutely in the right place at the right time. It was the second biggest album of all time for many, many years. I still think it might be. It's Jagged Little Pill.
Oh, Alanis Morissette, yes.
Yeah. She was the right place at the right time.
Right.
Mid-90s, perfect.
She had the look for the time frame.
Had the look for it and
Bohemian.
just crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. And she didn't have to do a follow-up after that.
Right.
The whole album was played to death.
Persian Scribe says the first songs that he remembers being addicted to, The Police, Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic, and Duran Duran, Hungry Like the Wolf. Those are my kind of songs from back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah. And I saw Duran Duran I've said this story a million times. I saw Duran Duran at a place called Clutch Cargo's, a bar in Chicago, which I don't think exists anymore. A couple hours outside of Kalamazoo, Michigan, where I lived at the time, and saw them live. And they were like right there up close. You could touch them. They were not popular or they were unknowns at that time. Of course, The Police, I still listen to The Police.
Oh, yeah. Well, any band where the lead singer delves into other things like movies. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sting, a lot of the songs had literary references. They were pretty deep, actually, and very interesting.
Yeah, they were. Hey, when we were talking last time, did we bring up the
yeah, we probably did bring that up a couple times.
Damn it. No. Did we bring up the it was a movie. I just had it. It was right by me.
In person, real life? Yeah, we brought that up.
No, it was forget it.
You have a girlfriend?
What? I do.
We brought that up.
I do. She's Canadian. She's actually a real Canadian girlfriend, not like a fake Canadian girlfriend that other people say. She doesn't live in Niagara Falls. Mm-hmm. She actually lives up here.
Mm-hmm. And you're in her place right now, actually.
I'm sitting on her couch right now. I have my own little room with all this little flat Earth memorabilia behind me. And
yes. We probably brought up whatever it is you're talking about, but it wasn't very.
We probably did. So. All I'm doing now is I'm typing in flat Earth and I'm going through the anything that's happened over the last month. Maybe we didn't talk about it.
We're verging up to almost 300 people viewing live, and here we are saying, "Do you remember?" No, I don't remember. Sorry, everyone.
Well, yeah, you have to really go back to, okay, did we talk about the Bill Maher thing? Did that already happen as well? Bill Maher's show on HBO?
Oh,
Where
I can't remember because we had a week off. Last
I
week,
know,
I
I know.
didn't
Well,
do the
let
secret
me
show
see
with
the
you.
date. Hang on, let me look up the date because YouTube, they don't punch up the date. I posted this on the
And I've got something to look
February.
up.
Nope. I think we already talked about it. The Bill Maher
All
thing
right.
was interesting though. So the question is now, when will the mainstream? Because here's the thing that bothered me about the whole ESPN thing. There was a lack of flat Earth coverage from the lowest common denominator, which is network television, meaning ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, and CNN. None of those networks did a story on video where they talked about flat Earth. You did not see Anderson Cooper on there. You didn't see any anchorman. Even on a lighter side, you could have just taken a shot
I
at
don't think Anderson Cooper is ever going to touch flat Earth. I think he's completely bought and paid for. Family ties too deep.
Anderson Vanderbilt, you mean?
Yeah, he's too involved in, like, I believe if you are going to go with all those events are hoaxes that they claim are real, he's always the one interviewing the victims. So no flat Earth for Anderson Cooper.
Yeah,
I do want to say happy birthday to Paul Michael Bales. His birthday was the other day.
Oh, that's cool.
And Rob McKenzie would like everyone to know there is a Glasgow, Scotland /Paisley meetup. And it's going to be at the Last Post in Paisley, Saturday, the 8th of April at 1400. So
Cool. That's awesome.
We don't use military time in the U.S. I have to actually think it through to figure out what time that is.
I got very good at it because I was in time and attendance.
Oh, also
So
because you're in the military with a name like Sargent, right?
What? Yeah, have never heard that joke since I was in second grade.
Yeah.
No, the in time and attendance, you got very good at converting stuff to military, and you also knew time zones pretty well, which is why, again, most Americans, not saying that most Americans are dumb, but most Americans don't even know there's 4 time zones in the United States.
That's true. I really only know.
And I'm not counting Hawaii
Pacific,
and that weird part of Maine. I'm saying that it's Pacific,
Central, Mountain, Eastern.
Yeah, so Pacific, Mountain, Central, Eastern.
That's what I know. There's others in the States. We're talking in the States.
In the States, yeah. Right. And most people keep forgetting Mountain. So they go, no, there's Pacific, and there's Central, and there's Eastern.
Cammy and Bob live in Mountain, and so does ODD and a couple
I used to live in Mountain. Yeah. But most people don't know that. And so the reason why is, Mark, why are you talking about time zones? The reason why it's significant is the whole why I was on to 9/11 faster. I accepted it faster than more than most people, which was when you remember the British television team that reported Building 7 dropping 20 minutes before it actually happened.
While it was standing behind them.
While it was burning behind her, and she's going, "Oh yeah, it's fallen." I'm going, "Wait." I knew exactly what had happened. They had screwed up the time zones because they had to fly from London to New York, which they had plenty of time to do. They landed, had to set up, and they were, again, since it was scripted, you're going to read this during, at this time. You read this, whatever it was, 4 p.m. Eastern, whenever you're going to read it. But they were off by an hour. So instead of reading it 40 minutes after it happened, you read it 20 minutes before it did happen.
But the newscasters themselves were innocent. They just
the newscasters innocent. They were just told, the producers said, read this report at this time. And even they should have picked up on it. Or maybe the producer, maybe it was given to him at the last minute. So, probably a higher level producer said, okay, send this to the British team now.
Right. And it was a stressful situation. Everybody, right.
Yeah. And they didn't get it.
Oh, Amber Plaster came out with a new song called Star Trails.
Right.
And it's DHAP Records putting it out. David Henses and DHAP Records. So it is out. And let me think what I've got here. Flat Earth Chick, who puts out all sorts of good things, has it out. And it is another fantastic song. So she's writing new Flat Earth stuff, getting it out there, which is great.
It's great.
Let's see what's going on in our chat.
We got a weird Any weird media things we may have missed?
Well, probably.
I know. Well, yeah. In fact, I should type in flat Earth over the last hour and see if it.
Last hour. I was going to say last 5 minutes. I'm looking. I have so many messages and emails. Well, we never get to them. Well, if you would quit talking about Kool and the Gang, and if Duran Duran's a good band, then maybe you might get to those. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, here's something I got yesterday from a guy named Dale L. Seth. In the subject, Flat Earth, what else? And he writes, "Hello, Patricia. Sorry for maybe being forward and emailing you, but I thought you might be interested in this. Mark might as well. Nah, he won't care. Maybe
What?
you won't. It's just joking.
Why
Maybe
would I care?
Maybe you won't either, but just the same. Here's a sort of flat Earth experience I had today involving a standoffish Richard C. Hoagland, who I love with his face on Mars and NASA filtering stuff out of the pictures taken on the moon. It was great stuff back then, before I learned the Earth was flat. Couldn't get enough of it. And I agree, I was into that too. Anyway, he goes on to say he posted this thing on Facebook today, and or maybe an assistant of Richard C. Hoagland did. And it's got some images that show a couple of pictures of a claimed moon of Saturn. And Richard Hoagland, whoever was doing the Facebook posting in his name, said it looked like a ravioli. So our friend Dale Seth commented this to the Richard C. Hoagland picture of a Saturn moon. Dick, nickname for Richard, of course. Tell me this. Why in the videos of NASA's alleged moon landing did those 10,000-pound thrust rockets not kick up any dust when they landed? The astronauts told us the surface was all dust, yet nothing from those powerful rockets. Got an answer? I'd appreciate it. And what was it the rockets were actually pushing against in that vacuum? I have a lot more questions, but they may get answered if you answer these. Thanks in advance for your prompt reply." He goes on to say, "Maybe I was rude. I hope not. That's something I'm working on." And then he writes, "So of course, Dick isn't going to waste his valuable time responding to a persistent critic, but I did get a response. I thanked the gentleman who responded and asked them if they were on Dick's team or worked for NASA or were engineers perhaps. No reply as of yet. If you're interested, I'll send you their reply as well, if, of course, they are comfortable making public that part of their identities." And here's the responses. This person says, "Rocket thrust works in two directions, outward through the nozzle and inward in the opposite direction of the exhaust. The thrust of the downward moving lander acts upward against the downward momentum of the lander in the lower gravity of the moon, slowing the descent until contact with the lunar surface at a sustainable velocity." Then this from another person responding to his query about this is impossible, basically.
Right.
His explanation is the exhaust does not really propel the rocket or push against anything. It's just exhaust, getting rid of the product of combustion. The forward vector of the fuel burning in the rocket engine chamber, a continuous controlled explosion, pushes against the mass of the rocket. This is how rockets work in space and in this atmosphere. And then someone else chimes in and says, "I'd also like to mention that rocket jets work differently in atmosphere than in none. Also, with low gravity, the jets turn into more of a ball than a one-directional stream." And so he concludes his message to me saying, okay, there it is. The first guy says engine thrust works in two directions. Is he seriously telling me that the lunar lander's 10,000-pound thrust engines kicked up no dust because somehow the engine was at the same time somehow sucking on the moon? Well, this may be just more nothing in your mailbox. Sorry if that's the case. I wouldn't want to waste your time. I'll let you know what I find out about these fellows if you'd like. And he writes later. And so that's from Dale Seth doing some good work there on Richard.
Nice. Yeah, please feel free at this point. Troll anybody.
Troll them all.
Go after any science organization, anybody that's talking about space. I mean, the community's been doing great anyway. I mean, you've probably seen some of the posts. They're just merciless.
Yeah.
They're going in on anybody they can. So yeah, go against SpaceX, go against NASA, go against Virgin Galactic. Richard Hoagland, you should go against him because he backed out of a debate with me without even telling him. I had to go up against Brian Dunning, and no offense, I'm never going to talk to that guy again because, here's a guy that ran a debunking website, and he went to prison for fraud. Why? I should rattle off real quick? The license plates we have so far.
Oh, yes.
Because I've gotten 4 or 5 just since I talked to you last. And so now I think we've hit the tipping point. I think we have more plates than we do, more states than we do non-states. So, and I'm still waiting for, I mean, yes, there's some screenshots that I have of other people. So if you have a plate and you've gotten your physical plates, please send me a pic of the real actual physical plates, because I will use those in place of your screenshots that you got from the Department of Licensing. But
I still haven't sent you mine. I tried to take a picture of my car. I'll show right now.
No, I mean, I still.
Is it coming through? Wait, my lights
still,
are in the way. Wait, hold on. Let me try. There, you can see. See it? Kind of?
Yeah, I do.
Not that good. It looks blue in this light.
But the studio lighting's getting in the way.
Yeah, yeah. And this is my home studio for those who are going to jump on me and say, they said studio. She's in the studio. Yeah, it's my home studio. So sick of it.
Nice. Okay, ready. Here we go. These are not fake. All right. And so Arizona, Arkansas, California, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Ontario, those are Canadian provinces, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maryland, Mississippi, Montana, Nevada, New Mexico, 2 in New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Texas car, Texas motorcycle, Utah, Virginia, Minnesota. Oh, I didn't rename that one. And Washington. So far,
that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a parade. That's a motorcade.
That's why I'm just having so much more fun as people keep sending them in to me, and plus the GMC guy that put Flat Earth on his truck. The other guy is carrying a flag. Other people that have sent in various little screenshots. So whether it's on your car or just a picture of the plate, don't worry about cropping it. Just send me the raw image. I will crop it, and so far it's turning some wonderful slideshows.
msargent23@comcast.net.
msargent23@comcast.net. Send me a picture of your plate, and if you don't have the actual plate yet, if the Department of Licensing sends you a screenshot, just print screen, send me that. I will crop that until you get the actual plate.
I do want to say hello to Jibby Jedi and Billy Sunday, who are in our chat. And Gem Buzz Panda is here as well, being very pleasant. Let's see. We've got Keanu Collins in here as well. And ADR, of all people, is here.
Remember how I sent you that weird plate from Kentucky that you didn't get and I didn't get either?
Yes. Oh, do you have a picture of that so we can show people?
Yeah. I'd have to share screen to do it.
Oh, well, maybe we should.
No, I'll just tell them. So you guys can write this down. Ready?
Okay.
Get
a pen, write this down, and then try to figure. I couldn't figure it out.
0K3RV. 0K, the number 3RV. Tell me if anybody in chat figures out what that is in relation to Flat Earth.
0K3RV.
Yeah.
How does that relate?
Mark from New York, he figured it out right away. I showed it to him. He goes, "Oh yeah, I got it." I was like, "What?
Really?"
Yeah. He read it off to me right away.
Anybody in chat?
Anybody in chat? See if anybody can figure that out.
0K3RV.
0K3RV. Anybody?
Nope. No one's got it. No one's got it.
That's all right. We'll give him like 60 seconds.
Oh wait. DITRH got it.
He did?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think he did.
Because he said
zero curve.
Yeah.
0K3RV.
I'm still waiting on no globe from a few people. I don't think there was a guy from Australia that says
Brian
he's going to get
Burton, Jovan Trendmaker. They got it.
Brian Burton does not count. Brian, you do not count.
Daniel Earls got it. Yeah, Pale Queen's got it.
Yeah, I didn't get it right away.
Either did I, and I felt dumb. But
I didn't get Philtast right away either.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, let's rattle that one off to people. You ready?
Right. Write this down.
Filtast. Filtast. Tell me if you can get that. That's a California one, by the way.
All right, and what is it?
Oh no, let's give them 20 seconds. Well, while they figured out the last one again. The hive mind is so smart. So yeah, if anyone again,
what is it?
It's Filtast. It's every other letter. So every other letter spells flat, and every other letter spells it's.
Wow. Okay. Yep. There it is. Stock Jockey's got it. A bunch of people got it.
I know. It's fun stuff. So if anyone
says, huh?
Because remember, oh, in fact, there was a guy that from Australia. Apparently, he ordered it, and I think he's going to get it. Just so personalized plates, otherwise known as vanity plates, you can get them in the United States, you can get them in Canada, but you also can get them in Australia. And there's a guy from Australia that got NASA SUX, which I think you can get away with in Australia,
right?
Because who's going to know? Like, well,
yeah,
we're not NASA.
That's pretty cool. Gregory May said that one was too cryptic. I thought the first one was cryptic.
Phil Test threw me.
Absolutely. And DITR8 says he wants his 20 seconds back. But I was singing during it. I was making it much more pleasant.
Nice. So anyone, remember, 6 letters, 7 letters, or 8 letters, whatever state or province you're in, come up with something. I love no globe. I love no curve, zero curve.
I came up with a couple good ones, didn't I, the other day when we were messaging back and forth? I forgot what they were.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, wait. That wasn't a very convincing.
No. I'm trying to remember what they were. I don't want to look.
I can't remember either.
But come up with creative stuff, because again, the more the merrier, and it gets out. People get really excited about the plate thing because they can relate.
Yes, and people see my plate in front of my house when I don't park in the garage that are coming here to do something like internet or whatever, a service provider, a person I don't know, let's just say. Right. People say something about it every single time, because mine literally says flat earth. You cannot mistake it.
I would have thought that the border people, the customs agents would have said things every single time. I only got 2 out of, I think, at least a dozen or more that actually said something. One said, what does it's flat mean? And I said, well, it's the website. He just asked. The other guy goes, so you're a musician?
Right.
I go, what are you talking? I didn't get it. He goes, flat. Music, flat. Oh, like a note. No, man, it's not me.
I don't know if I said hello to Validation Boy. I mean, if I didn't, I have now. Iron Fe as well. Hello. Kevin Spangler, who is leaving. And hello and goodbye to everyone, because I guess we're going to, there's Alex Aquarius.
We're going to wrap this one up.
I guess we're going to wrap this one up. I've got a
bow on it.
Kind of I guess it's a cocktails kind of thing.
Cocktails?
Cocktails, yes.
Is that like
a really nice place. And going to be meeting some people that I don't know. So, and my eye doctor is going to be there, the only person I'll know who's bringing my contacts. So, all
right, you gotta fess up to me, or if you don't have to do it on air, you don't have to. Who made your thumbnail? That's really a cool thumbnail.
Who made I forgot what thumbnail I used. Nobody made it. I found it.
You just found that? That's awesome.
I find all sorts of cool pictures.
That's really cool. It's actually better. That's actually going to be better than the one that I'm going to use for this.
Oh, really? My thumbnail's cool, so go look at it if you want. Well, you can't see it while you're watching.
Mine's a version of that truck, the with the black banner, the black flat earth flag flying next to it.
Mine is a man wearing glasses in an astronaut suit holding a black cat who's also an astronaut or a catstronaut. But I like this one right here that somebody sent me, if anybody can see this.
Catstronaut?
Yes, in the orange.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Go.
I've seen that one.
Little meme. Good. So anyway, we always have to talk about cats because,
talking about cats.
That's the way it is with this show. And
I thought we did pretty good with this show. There was a lot of flat earth news.
There was a lot of flat earth news. We always talk about flat earth.
It's happening right now as we speak, and it's going to happen before the next show. Eric Dubé is going to be on Eddie Bravo.
Yes.
This week.
And Vegan Warrior is my guest tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 GMT. So I'll be interviewing him. He's a flat earther and vegan. So like I said, I'll be on Zen Garcia's show with a bunch of other flat earth women coming up this Saturday. I think it's this Saturday.
Awesome.
Next Saturday. Oh,
critical mass, baby. And people say, do not assume that I have already seen it. If you guys find a piece of flat earth media out there, please do email me at msargent23@comcast.net, and I will take a look, and because I can crank out vids probably as fast as anybody.
Wait, did you hear that one about Jaren's boat?
The what?
Jaren's boat. Shall we send that one to you? Did you hear about that one? Joking, because that's an old flat earth.
I was about to say, no, we don't want to use that. No, because I was worried about that one. I was afraid that boat was going to blow up.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Me too. Yeah.
I'm like DIT or H. I'll say, look, I've got it. There's this topic. He goes, you have 1 hour to make this video. It's like, what? He goes, the clock is ticking, right? He actually holds me to it. I can't believe it.
Oh, and there's this really good site that I mentioned on Nathan Oakley's 100th live stream show, which was a couple of days ago. Yeah. There is a new website that we talked about, which is called Stop stoplookthink.com. Stoplookthink.com. All sorts of flat earth information on that website, and it's out of Germany. So stoplookthink.com. Go check that one out.
Cool.
All right, I guess that's it. Do you have anything else to say of any note, of any merit?
Yeah, if anybody wants to, because I don't solicit radio stations, if anybody wants me to be on somebody's podcast or be on somebody's thing, just feel free on my behalf. I've not turned down a single one. The only person I even turned down talking to was the atheist out of, remember that guy that was...
Yeah, him.
That guy. That was the only guy, but that's just because it wasn't relevant.
Right.
To the debate. I want to debate somebody that actually can give me something.
Will you be on a podcast with me next Wednesday at this very same time?
You know what? That could actually happen.
All right.
I'll have your people call my people and we'll do this thing.
We'll do it. Mark Sargent and I'm Patricia Steere. That concludes episode 148 of Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. And until we meet again, and we will, we will, keep it flat.